Hi, everybody, and welcome to another Channel 8 sports presentation. We are back at the rack here as East Brunswick's girls basketball team takes on Edison in the Greater Middlesex Conference Championship Tournament game. Jimmy Allinder being joined by Phil Hill. And Phil, we have an interesting situation here. East Brunswick, who you expect to be back at the championship final, is going up against Edison, a team that East Brunswick has beaten by an average margin of 35 points in the 2 regular season meetings. Are we going to have a game here this afternoon?
I think we're going to have a game, Jim. This is a different Edison Eagle team. I think on January 27th, they found themselves when they beat up on Piscataway by 10 points. A couple days later, they beat Bishop R as well. And since then, they've won 11 consecutive games. This is a team that believes in themselves. They feel they're on a mission, and I think we're going to have a competitive game.
All right. Well, East Brunswick, not an easy road for them to get here. They had a tough game against Bishop R. Are they on all cylinders at this point?
They're on all cylinders. I talked to Reggie Carney about that win, and Reggie feels that the way this team came back, they were down 6 points in the fourth quarter. They played tough defense, and that game may serve them well for the rest of the year for the States. This is a very good team, a very talented team, not as offensive-minded as some teams we've known in the past, but they play great defense.
And talk a little bit about the effect of having been in a championship final a number of times, this team in particular.
Well, I mentioned that to Reggie, and it's really not – it's a misnomer. This team really hasn't been. Jess Olszewski, of course, has been in a number of finals, but most of the other players have not. Reggie has been here to the rack 9 consecutive years, so he's very comfortable with it. He's used to it. But as for his players, I don't know that it's a great advantage that they're going to have over the Eagles. I think the big thing, Jim, today is going to be matchups. And I don't think the Edison Eagles can match up that well with the Bears. In order for the Eagles to win, they're going to have to control the tempo. They're going to have to play their half-court set. And with the type of defenders that the Bears have, I don't think the Bears are going to let them be that comfortable. Heather O'Reilly, just unbelievable. Liz Whalen played super defense against Dina Quazzo and Janet Oostet of Bishop R. The rest of the team played super defense as well, and I think that's going to be the difference in this game.
And, of course, when you have players such as Jess Olszewski, who is really one of the best players to ever play for East Brunswick. You have a team there that was yelling and screaming during the pregame warm-ups. They're nice and loose. East Brunswick certainly seems as though they have the advantage. So we're going to take a break right now. We'll be back with the first tip-off right after this. All right, we are back here at the Lewis Brown Athletic Center, as I mentioned, known as the Rack, here at Rutgers University in Piscataway. The starting lineups, Phil, for Edison, we have them. Number 21, Carrie Schutz. Number 40, Connie McElraith, I guess it's pronounced. 23, Shannon Toft. 33, Jackie Kuntz. And number 25, Katie Eskin. For East Brunswick, number 5, Jess Olszewski. Number 43, Maura Kirby. Number 23, Ashley Stapleton. Number 14, Liz Whalen. And number 42, Heather O'Reilly. O'Reilly, the freshman, starting. Reggie going with his lineup that he feels is on the roll right now.
That's right.
And we're underway. And that is Whalen. 23. No good by Stapleton. However, Olszewski sets up. She misses. East Brunswick getting the rebound. Whalen putting it up. In and out. Tapped around. Who comes up with it? They're on the floor, and we have a tie-up, Phil.
I'll tell you, Whalen and Stapleton, good hustle to tie it up. However, Edison gets control.
All right, so Edison will inbounds. They will handle the ball for the first time. We're just underway here at the Rack. Edison versus East Brunswick GMC Championship Final. There's your first turnover.
And, Jim, that may be the story of the game this early on, the pressure that the Bears are going to put on this young Eagle team. You saw the trapping defense there, and right away the turnover.
And that is East Brunswick's signature, being able to trap. Olszewski inside to Kirby. They think they have an advantage there. Tapped around, though, and the Eagles come away with it. Held up. And Edison moves it around.
course.
That is Toft. Eskin inside, bounces around, and it is good play by Olszewski.
Okay.
She bounced it right off the Eagle player.
And the Bears are naturally in their tough man-to-man defense.
No pressure by Edison. Whalen calling out the play. This is O'Reilly. She's a bundle of energy. Inside to Olszewski. She posts up. Tapped away.
I'll tell you, that's a good block there by Carrie Schultz.
It was, and there was a tie-up, and now East Brunswick with the possession arrow in its favor will inbound. O'Reilly trying to get a handle on it. And East Brunswick set. Long three by Whalen. Finds nothing but net. And East Brunswick jumps out to a 3-0 lead. Here's the pressure from East Brunswick. There's an opening.
Oh!
And Olszewski does a great job of recovering. There was a 2-on-1, Phil.
I'll tell you, in tradition of the fine field goal kickers for the East Brunswick Bears, just did a nice job there.
All right. So they inbounds down this part of the court, huh? Even though the kick, the ball went out of bounds. Okay. Eagles will look to inbound. There's a shot put up off the rim, won't go. Follow up, good stuff, but they say foul. Kirby.
I'll tell you, McElrath going up strong, Kirby right there, and they call it for the foul, Jim.
East Brunswick foul number 43, Laura Kirby, her first.
And you take a good look at Connie McElrath, a 5'11 junior.
Makes the first. So it is 3-1 in favor of the East Brunswick Bears. And McElrath bounces in and out. So the score remains 3-1, 6:20 left to go. First quarter. Whalen, Olszewski, can't leave her alone for a second. O'Reilly kicks to the middle. Stapleton, O'Reilly again. Stapleton lofts it up, won't go. Here comes Edison.
Eagles in a matchup zone doing a fine job right there.
That is Schutz, finds the middle. Will not go. Good rebound, however. Another nice rebound, put up by McElrath, and we have a tie score, 3-3. O'Reilly looks to Stapleton. Olszewski. Whalen with another opening. Won't fall. Don't see the rebounding advantage thus far.
I'll tell you, a good box out job by the Eagles, though.
Another 2-on-1 here. McElrath knocked away by O'Reilly.
And the ubiquitous O'Reilly, who else is there to knock the ball out of bounds?
Aaron Kenny, 14, for East Brunswick.
Substitution for the Bears. Kenny in for Kirby. McElrath puts it up and in. We're going to have to contend with her.
And she's only averaging 9.5 points per game. She has 5.
And it is 5-3 Eagles. We are just underway here at the Rutgers Athletic Center. Goes up, Kenny does, and she's fouled. And that one is on Toft, her first.
And you mentioned, Jim, that you felt the Bears could take advantage in the low post there, and that's what they seem to be trying to do.
Kenny makes the first basket, makes it 5-4. Edison by 1. And Kenny good on the second, ties it up, 5-5. 4:57 left to go in the first quarter. Wow, have they broken that press? And Kuntz puts it home for a 7-5 lead. I'm not surprised. I would not be surprised if Harney calls a timeout here. Shot, this is everything.
Well, the Eagles would have good steal by O'Reilly.
And there's the chance that Edison takes by lack of numbers. Stapleton with it. And it's tied once more, 7-7.
Well, the Eagles would have you believe that they only play half court, Jim, but they did fast break previous time down. And caught everyone off guard.
Toft holds it aloft to McElrath. That's Eskin with it. Almost stolen away. They look for McElrath inside. No, it's taken away by O'Reilly. Turnover. Whalen gives Olszewski an open shot. She hits, and it's a three-pointer. And East Brunswick moves out to a 10-7 lead.
Okay, Olszewski, the most...
Stolen again. Nice pass inside. And a timeout called by Edison. That one was by Stapleton. Go ahead, Phil.
And I'll tell you, Jim, it's about pressure defense, and that is the question there, whether the Edison Eagles can withstand the tremendous pressure that the Bears are putting on them. Normally, of course, we'd have Reggie mic'd up. Reggie chose not to be mic'd up today, so we're going to have to talk. But this is a young Edison team, and I don't think they've seen anything like the pressure that the Bears are capable of putting on them. The helter-skelter defense that the Bears are known for are going to force turnovers, as you just saw, and I think that may be the big difference in this game.
Well, from the perspective that we have up here, it's very obvious that Edison is really just one pass away from an odd man situation going down the court. It's just that East Brunswick just closes them out, as they're doing right now. This is tough defense.
It's just tremendous defense.
And now they break away. And they have the odd persons, as we noted right there. And Kuntz makes it 12-9. So that's the chance that East Brunswick's willing to take thus far. Olszewski, three-point try. Off the rim, won't go. Follow-up, however. That's Jill Masterson who went in the game. Nice shot by, will not go, however. Eagles down with it.
Well, McElrath off the boards again.
O'Reilly closely guarding. That's Toft. Shot up, will not go. Bounced around, and they say who? Off Edison.
I'll tell you, you got to like their aggressiveness on the boards, though, Jim. They tapped it out of bounds, but they were going two Eagle players right there.
Substitution in a minute. Dutra's going to be coming in. Olszewski posts up. Excuse me, hits from the foul line. 14-9, 5-point lead, and another steal. Quick transition, Olszewski again. Will not go. Good rebound, however, so that she gets a three-point try. Olszewski a little cold at the outset here.
Just pulling the string a little bit, Jim.
Yeah. 14-9 with 2 minutes left to go in this first quarter of play. GMC Championship Final. McElrath, and it falls in. She has 7 points to lead Edison. East Brunswick with a 14-11 lead. Whalen out to O'Reilly. Will not go. Ball tapped around. And Edison has the numbers if they want. Look at O'Reilly come back and get that. And here's a two. What do they got here?
Injury timeout.
Who's down on the court? Can't tell. Is that Olszewski? It sure is. I don't think she's hurt.
She's not yet right, and the official called the timeout on her behalf there. Reggie Carney didn't necessarily want that timeout, Jim.
East Brunswick calls a 20-second timeout.
And that's what it was.
The official gave that timeout to the Bears to protect Olszewski, who was down. Olszewski seemed to be all right. Again, you see Reggie talking to his team there, and basically what he's saying is we got to handle them on the break there. Again, so much talk about the half-court offense there, but this Eagle team has been breaking the press, and once they do, they're finding the open person down there who's coming up with the easy basket.
Olszewski leading the way with 5 points thus far. Stapleton has 4. Kenny with 2 foul shots and Whalen with a 3-pointer. And that's the scoring.
For the Eagles.
McElrath has 7 points and Kunz 4 points, and that's it for the Eagles. So we are about a minute 25 left to go in this first period. East Brunswick very willing to put up a 3-point shot if they want. Inside was a forced pass, and they're going to call a foul. Lisa Mariski is in the game, Phil.
Okay.
As are, let's see, Dudra.
Edison, foul number 23, Shannon Toff, her second.
Heskin never left the court. Now we got the numbers. Pass out, Genovese in the game as well. Shot up, won't go. That was Mariski. Oh, stolen. That was good anticipation there by Toft.
And the Eagles showing good poise right now.
Stolen by Lisa Mariski. She stops.
That's Jill Masterson, Jim.
Okay, correction on that. So nobody from the starting lineup is in the game right now. Almost put up, knocked away, however. Good defense by Edison. Put up, wild shot. Will not go. Masterson with it. Bounce pass to Genovese. A little strong. A little late on the pass, Phil, and that's what forced that up.
And they're calling Mariski on the foul, Jim.
That is East Brunswick's second team foul. 21 seconds left to go. 14-11, East Brunswick on top of Edison.
Second team foul.
Ricks with it. New face there, Makita. Stolen away. East Brunswick has 6 seconds. He's going to have to put it up. And a forced shot finds nothing. So at the end of the first period of play, it is East Brunswick 14 and Edison 11.
And I'll tell you, a well-played first quarter by both teams. Both teams' defense being tenacious and whatnot, and both teams showing some poise here, Jim. I tell you, for most of the fans who haven't seen the Edison Eagles, I think they got to be surprised that they've played as well as they have.
Well, as we said at the top of the show, East Brunswick has played this Edison team twice and won by a 35-point margin average. I mean, you would think that Edison is just thrown into the mix with the rest of the GMC, but they certainly have distinguished themselves in this opening period.
As I mentioned, they've won 11 consecutive games in that run. They've beaten Piscataway twice. They've beaten Bishop R as well. They've beaten Old Bridge, and this is a team that believes that they're as good as any team in the county right now.
Well, they're getting an opportunity to prove it this afternoon.
East Brunswick returns to the original starting 5 to the floor to start the second quarter.
And we're underway to begin this second period.
And you just got to look at her, O'Reilly. She's just relentless, Jim.
Edison, patient. Almost knocked away. And a steal. Here's Olszewski. Is she going to take it in by himself? Nope. Kicks it out. There's O'Reilly with a long shot. Well, doesn't find anything. However, Olszewski's there.
I will call that an assist.
Okay.
Just
16-11. East Brunswick with a 5-point lead.
Olszewski with 7 points.
Phil, I have a feeling that Carney implored this team to be a little more tighter on defense, especially down the half court here.
Okay, and one of the reasons he's substituting rather liberally. Liz Whalen knocking that ball out.
McElrath tapped away, however, she gets her own rebound. She's got 9 points.
And she's already at her average, Jim.
And Edison hanging around here. It's 16-13. East Brunswick in the second period with 6:50 to go. Whalen. Here's Olszewski. She's looking for the post up. Whalen's going to take a shot. That was a little forced. Stapleton, Olszewski with an open three. Hits.
Mercy.
Can't leave her open like that. 19-13 East Brunswick. 6:30 left to go in the second period.
Okay, 10 points for Olszewski.
Whoops, what happened here? Recovery by Toft.
That was double dribble, Jeff.
Sure was. McElrath again, and she's hacked by Kirby, I believe.
Well, it actually was a discontinue. No call.
East Brunswick foul number 43, Maura Kirby, her second, the Bears' third team foul.
McElrath on the line. And that one bounced off the rim. She'll get a second.
Connie McElrath has been holding the Eagles in this game with 9 points. Looking for a 10th right here.
Bears replacing Maura Kirby.
Dudra back in. Kirby with 2 fouls takes a seat for East Brunswick and misses both shots. So here come the Bears. Whalen to the middle. Back out to O'Reilly. And Olszewski's open again. And will not go. Taken away. Jump ball.
I'll tell
O'Reilly
you.
there again.
East
Dylan, we're running out of adjectives to describe Heather O'Reilly.
I'll tell you.
She's really a special player. Olszewski once more. Hits. She's got 12 points so far. And East Brunswick has a 21-13 lead. They're the biggest. 8 points. Slip.
And look at the defense. You
Trap
got three defenders. You got Dudra, Stapleton, and O'Reilly trapping the Edison player. There's nowhere to go.
And that's a turnover for the Eagles. East Brunswick one more time. Stapleton, Olszewski one more time. You know, I'll tell you what, when you triple team her, that's going to leave somebody else open. And that's the dilemma for Edison. McElrath. Shuts with it. Kunz now gives it off the board. That was a wild shot. Forced. And Edison comes down with it, however. Stolen away by Olszewski.
Oh, deft still.
Stapleton forces it across. Shot by Dudra. Will not go. Boy, I'll tell you what, East Brunswick has a lot of shots here. Not really caring about the percentages.
Well, they're shooting it, but they're flat-footed when they're shooting it, Jim. Not getting up on the toes a little bit.
And the tie-up results in an Edison possession. The inbounds and goes off of Toft. More of a mental lapse than anything else. And East Brunswick will take over.
Kayla Ricks returns for the Eagles.
Olszewski, double team. That leaves Dudra open. And she smacks it home.
Oh, three-pointer.
Sure was. And a timeout by Edison. East Brunswick with an 11-point lead, 24-13.
And you take a look at Patty Jaworski. She'll tell you right away, this is not one of her favorite places to be. Pat Jaworski played for Seton Hall University, and she played along with Phyllis Mangiero, the present-day coach. She also coached South River for a number of years, where she coached Audrey Taylor to Central Jersey Group 1 championship. But while most people are glad to be at Rutgers, her memories aren't so fond.
Nonetheless, I'm sure she's glad she's here today. The Eagles will inbounds. It's 24-13. A little bit of a run here by East Brunswick. Whew, good move. What do we got here? A foul.
I'll tell you, Carrie Schutz, a good-looking ball player. She's an all-conference player, and showed good ball handling skills right there.
Foul is charged to Kenny, I believe that is, her first. And fourth team foul for the Bears. 4:49 left to go in the second quarter. It is 24-13 East Brunswick. Edison having trouble getting it in. They're moving around the perimeter. McElrath is the one down below, being guarded by Dudra. A little bit of a height advantage there for Edison, Phil. That's Ricks. Lofts one up, will not go.
I tell you, nice move.
Edison getting only one shot now. O'Reilly, pass across to Oshesky. Elects to drive and puts it home. Nobody can stay with her. 26-13, almost stolen.
And that's the point. Nobody can stay with her. You're right, Jim. Jess Olszewski's been doing it for years for the Bears and wants to go out in style.
Have her for 14 points at this juncture. We have a lot of time left to go even in this first half. Cross-court pass makes it. Now they get it across to McElrath. Stolen by O'Reilly. Nobody's going to catch her. And that's her first bucket.
First two of the night.
But her presence has been very evident here in the first half. 28-13. Another steal. And mental and physical fatigue. Missed by Oshesky. Bounced around. Whalen comes up with it. Will not go. However, Kenny with a follow-up. 3 uncontested shots. Finally fouled.
And that's poetic justice that Kenny is at the line, because it was she and O'Reilly who forced that turnover with the trapping defense in the first place.
Foul charged to Schutz. Kenny, she's been good on 2 previous shots. Makes the third.
And Kenny's a 5'11" sophomore.
Shannon Toth returns for the Eagles, replacing Kayla Ricks.
Third point of the night.
She's going to be a fine addition to Reggie Carney's teams in the future. Makes the second. She's 4 for 4 from the line, and it's 30-13, a 17-point margin now. Edison can't afford to fall behind too much here. And a little force-out foul by Dudra on McElrath.
And Reggie was not too displeased with that foul there. It's just Dudra being somewhat aggressive, playing tough defense.
3:32 left to go. 30-13, the Bears ahead. McElrath, they got her out. That's where they want her. She's really high post now. East Brunswick has 5 team fouls, so they don't want to foul anymore here if they don't have to. Toft inside.
Nice move.
And she is only the 3rd player to score for Edison. Makes it 30-15. Whalen with a shot, almost went. And I believe she's fouled by Schutz.
Edison foul number 21.
That's her second.
Carrie Schutz, her second. The Eagles' 4th team foul.
And you take a good look at Liz Whalen, named to the all-conference team, all-red division team, I should say. Did a super job holding Dina Quazzo of Bishop Bar to just 10 points. And she's been really the floor leader for this Bear team.
O'Reilly sits, and Whalen makes the second. 31-15. East Brunswick ahead by 16.
Once again, a steal.
And they say it went off East Brunswick. Stolen by Kenny. What did they say? Hit the top of the.
Look at the defense, Jim. It's just Eagles having a terribly tough time trying to get the ball in bounds.
Well, this is not a zone trap. This is now they trap him. Boy, Edison is really having trouble with this now. They kind of broke it early at the beginning of this game, and that's what kept them with East Brunswick. And they're going to call steps on Toft. Phil, I see our producer, Pete Kenemes, has already taken a trip to the media room for the free eats. Shot in. I believe that was by Masterson, right? It's our first 2. It's 33-15. And a foul on, I believe that's Masterson, who was charged with the foul. Her first, team
Brunswick
6.
foul, number 12, Jill Masterton, her first. The 6th.
And McElrath
Team foul.
to the line. She's pretty much been the story for the Eagles. She's got 9 points. Make it 10. Score 33-16. And good on the second. 33-17. 2 minutes and 15 seconds left to go. First half of play here at the Lewis Brown Athletic Center at Rutgers University. GMC championship game. Pass inside to Whalen.
I'll tell you.
Little strong. Despite that miss, Phil, East Brunswick's really getting a lot of uncontested shots now.
Good motion there, hitting the open person and tenacious defense.
Tenacious is the word. Olszewski, no fouls, by the way. And they're going to call a foul on
Dudra on the trip.
Right, and that should be a one-on-one situation for
East
Edison.
Brunswick foul number 20, Melissa Dudra, her second. The 7th Bear team foul.
And that will bring Katie Eskin to the line.
Shoot for 1 and 1.
Makes the first.
And of course, Katie Eskin is one of those super softball players that the Edison Eagles seem to always have.
Well, she's doing it on the basketball court as well. Makes both. And narrows the margin to 33-19. Edison, East Brunswick with a 14-point lead.
Okay.
We're under 2 minutes to go in this first half.
Risky for Dudra.
Kenny with a nice move, will not go, however. Oh, call a double dribble there, Phil.
Once again, the pressure. Kenny doing a nice job putting the pressure on McElrath. Forced her into the double dribble.
East Brunswick will inbounds. Risky loses the handle, however, she recovers.
They want a double dribble there. Patty Jaworski jumping up off the bench.
Pass inside, and Kenny lets it go. I think East Brunswick got a bit of a break on that one. This is Olszewski with it. Kenny inside. Shot by Whalen, in and out. And they throw it away.
I'll tell you, McElrath with a bunch of rebounds, but throwing that one away.
McElrath, a 5'11 junior. Nope, she's not the leading scorer on the team. Schutz is 10.8 points per game.
Okay. Whalen gets a nice hand as Stapleton comes back in.
Down to a minute. Olszewski sets up, will not get hit. And Schutz off the rim, won't go. One of the few outside shots by Edison. Stapleton comes up with it. Masterson was ahead of the field. Stolen away. Good play by McElrath. They work it inside. And Eskin puts it home, 33-21. Back down to a 12-point lead for East Brunswick. 20 seconds to go. And it looks like they're going to hold it. Up goes Olszewski, she's fouled.
Yeah, she just drew that foul, Jim.
Edison foul, number 25, Katie Eskin, her first, Eagles 5th team foul. Jess Olszewski shooting 2.
And you take a good look at Jess Olszewski.
Makes the first.
And with that basket, Jim, she's just 20 points away from being the all-time leading scorer for East Brunswick High School. 20 more points, she can break Kara Matuszewski's record.
Good on the second. And East Brunswick now 35-21. McElrath open. Nice soft shot, finds it. And it's 35-23 at the end of the first half of play. And that last basket there, Phil, I don't know.
Wow, but
it's a good note for Edison to come off the court.
Well, if you're Pat Jaworski, you got to be pleased. Pat Jaworski talked about playing hard and being respectable. It's been a respectable first half for the Eagles. They just have run into a relentless defense by the Bears.
All right, we are halftime here at the Lewis Brown Athletic Center, and East Brunswick with a 35-23 lead. We're going to take a break right now. We'll be back with the second half right after this.
And Jim, as we normally do with our faces in the crowd, if you notice there, the young fellow talking in the black mock turtleneck shirt there is Dr. John Kopko. And Jim, I understand that he's retiring at the end of this year, and I'm not quite sure what his legacy will be, but I can tell you this, Jim, he's had probably the only school district in the state of New Jersey that has had a 7 blue ribbon school district acknowledgement, and that's quite an accomplishment. He's done a number of things, certainly to keep East Brunswick school system the top one, as one of the top ones in the state of New Jersey, and we wish him well.
You are correct, Phil. All right, back here, East Brunswick will begin the second half with the possession. And they have a 35-23 lead. Oshesky a little short, but she follows up, won't go again. McElrath with the rebound.
Start off where she left, McElrath.
And that is Toft. Gets across. She's double teamed, however. Look at that aggressive defense by East Brunswick. McElrath temporarily loses the handle. Shot up, will not go. And the Bears with it. However, Edison with the steal.
A good steal by Schultz.
McElrath pass inside. And they are going to call steps. A little late on the whistle.
A little late on the whistle. Patty Jaworski not happy with her player there.
That was Jackie Kuntz. And Oshesky now handling the ball. This is the lineup that started for East Brunswick in the first half. Oshesky with a pass inside to Kenny, back out to Oshesky. She's going to take it. Well, it really wasn't set, Phil.
Never had control of the ball.
And they say Edison's traveled with it. So Bears will take possession under their own basket. Oshesky again. Will not go. Boy, she's like to shoot. They say it's off East Brunswick. Phil, you'd like to see East Brunswick perhaps work it down a little bit. They've had a lot of success inside.
Okay, here they go with their
Schutz gets it across. McElrath. Bounce pass goes nowhere. Kuntz comes up with it. Schutz, I'm sorry. They get it inside, however, tapped away. This is Oshesky. Bounce pass to Stapleton, inside. Somehow it threads its way through to O'Reilly. And East Brunswick up to a 37-23 lead. Almost stolen. They got the numbers here, 3-on-1. McElrath with it, puts it up, in and out. And the Bears come down with it. That was a tough one. 6 minutes to go in the third quarter. East Brunswick with a 37-23 lead. Kenny underneath. Will not go. Bounces around, and Edison comes down with it. Toft holding it. Almost stolen. It is by Kenny. She has nobody with her, however. Nice pass inside to O'Reilly. Another nice pass.
Stapleton.
And East Brunswick with a 39-23 lead. Back up to 16. Oshesky got away with a little bit of a push there.
And the Eagles really haven't been able to solve the pressure defense, Jim.
That's been their problem. That goes nowhere. And hits on the end line, so East Brunswick takes over again.
And even when they do break it, Jim, they end up sort of forcing things as they did right there.
Inside, stolen away. That was tapped around. And with 5 minutes left to go in the third quarter, it's still 39-23. East Brunswick with a fairly comfortable margin. What do they got here? And I think it's going to be a, 20-second timeout or full? Regular timeout.
Okay.
So East Brunswick, Phil, comes out with a run of 6-0, I believe it was. No, I'm sorry, 4-0. Edison has yet to get on the board, and again, it's that pressure by the Bears that are causing all kinds of problems for Edison.
It's a relentless pressure, and the fact of the matter is the Eagles have not been able to adjust, Jim. It's just a matter of quickness on the Bears' part, and as I said, every time a Eagle player turns around, they have one or two people on them, and it's got to be rather frustrating, Jim.
Have Oshesky with 16 points, and she really hasn't had all that good of a shooting afternoon.
Well, she's sort of in a relaxed mode right here, right now. Jess can be a streak shooter, and next thing you know, she'll put 4 or 5 together there. So I wouldn't count her out just yet. 16 points is by far the leading scorer for both of these teams.
All right, after this timeout, Edison will look to probably get the ball more in the hands of McElrath. She's been by far the leading scorer for Edison. 13 points I have her with. There she is. Will not go, however. Knocked around off Edison. East Brunswick takes over. Can't get a better shot than that, Phil.
That's for sure.
Stapleton to O'Reilly. Oshesky. Bang, three-pointer.
That's what I'm talking about.
It's her third three-point shot this afternoon, and that makes it 42-23. Largest lead for East Brunswick, 19 points. Almost stolen, it is. Kenny, her first two-pointer.
That's Kenny's 6-pointer of the night, Jim.
I'm sorry, that's her 6-point, first two-pointer, however. She's 4-4 from the line?
Right.
Okay. 44-23, 21-point margin for East Brunswick as they extend this lead. Double teamed. Edison perplexed, to say the least. McElrath, she's nailed.
Okay, Jesse being a little aggressive there. Over-aggressive, and the crowd reacted before the official did.
That is Oshesky's first foul. First team foul for the Bears. And I guess you'd call that a good one. Inside, another foul, this one by Kenny. Her second. Second team foul.
34, Erin Kenny. Her second, Bears' second team foul.
Eskin to the line. She's 2 for 2 thus far.
And we talked about this team being a young team. Eskin, just a 5'11" sophomore. They start 2 juniors and 3 sophomores for this Edison team. So regardless of what happens here, they'll be back, Jim, and something to be faced with next year.
Eskin good on 1 out of 2, makes it 44-24. East Brunswick up by 20. Third quarter with 4 minutes left. Shesky thought about it. O'Reilly does take it. Hits a 3. Is that a three-pointer?
That's a 3.
Nope, they say it too. Thought she was over the on the line.
Heather O'Reilly.
46-24, Bears with the lead. Shot off the backboard, recovered, however. Tapped around, McElworth with it, and she puts it home. Her first 2 points of the half makes it 46-26, and a 20-second timeout by Carney. What do you think he's asking about, Phil?
Who's that?
Carney called the 20-second timeout.
And he's talking to the official. I'm not quite sure, Jim. But the fact is he has a 20-point lead at this juncture here. And I quite frankly talked to Reggie yesterday, and he was confident coming into this game. He said if we're playing our A game, it could be a 30-point. It could be a 30-point game, and he had reason to be confident. The Bears are playing tremendously well right now.
Phil, I think about the games past where East Brunswick would go up against such teams as Piscataway, Bishop R, St. Peter's, if you recall.
Right.
And it was just a struggle for East Brunswick to get that, they call it a bug, a gorilla off their back. And here they are now. Just an example of how far this program has progressed.
Well,
they're by far the favorites. Shot up and good by Whalen. Go ahead, Phil.
Well, they got that gorilla off their back a long time ago. They already defending champs. And, of course, they won here in 96 as well.
49-26. That is a 23-point lead. Won't go. Stapleton with it. They have the numbers. Tapped away, and good hustle by O'Reilly to make that clear for Olszewski. That was a great play by O'Reilly. 51-26. Again, pressure. And it's Heather with the foul, I believe.
I think Dewdrop.
They got their choice.
East Brunswick foul number 42, Heather O'Reilly.
You're right, Jim.
Bears third team foul.
I think that's O'Reilly's first foul. It is.
Kirby.
Really not much Patty Jaworski can do. I mean, this Edison team's played with a lot of poise considering it's their first trip to the finals. They're going to call steps on that one. And that was Olszewski's presence.
And Patty Jaworski said she had just hoped to close the gap from those first two times that they played the Bears. And while they have played better, the Bears appear to be playing better as well.
There you go. Masterson to Olszewski. And they really can afford to play around with it now. Down to 2:25 left to go in the third quarter. Olszewski off the rim. I would say, Phil, she's probably shooting about 30%, quite honestly. But, you said it was a relaxed game for her.
Relaxed game for her. Just to tell you, as well as most of these players, that offensively, this hasn't been a great offensive year for this team here. But somehow they've gotten the job done. Jessie hasn't had the type of year that she's had both in her sophomore and junior year. But nevertheless, they're here.
And I will tell you that Hofstra is very pleased to get Jess Olszewski. Boy, nice shot by O'Reilly, sort of off balance. She's got 8 points, 53-26. Shot up, sort of forced, and goes off of Kirby. Couldn't save it.
Florence Genovese and Lisa Moreski return to the Bears, replacing
Moreski and Genovese in. Olszewski and O'Reilly out.
You're talking about the future and the past. Olszewski.
Well,
we'll
she's
move on.
She's still the present, Phil.
Well, she will be moving on, and O'Reilly will be here for another 3 years.
And playing a rather prominent role for this team, I imagine. Good steal by Dudra. She finds an alley, lofts it up, a little hard for Masterson.
Carolyn Borkwit enters the game for the Eagles, replacing Katie Eskin.
Edison looking to get it across. They do. inside. Gonna have to get it out. McElrath and Kirby on her. And she's smacked with her third foul.
East Brunswick foul number 40,
Not a factor, though.
Kirby, her third. The Bears' fourth team foul. Connie McElrath shooting 2.
Makes the first. Phil, if I can say something.
Go ahead.
I think where East Brunswick can be somewhat exposed, and if anybody's scouting this team, is if there is a tall post player with good moves like McElrath. I can see East Brunswick having some difficulty.
And they have. The teams that have beaten them have had just that, Jim. You're talking about the Columbias and the Petties and so forth.
Well,
but you're right. McElrath has 16 points here, Jim.
Yes. Well, I'm kind of looking at the Central Jersey Group 4 tournament coming up, and looming down the road there is second-seeded Trenton.
Who got knocked off by West Windsor, I understand, Jim.
Okay.
So they're beatable.
And they say she was on the line, wasn't forced out. So we were exactly 1 minute to go in the third quarter, 53-27. East Brunswick with a commanding lead here. Final of the GMC tournament. Shot put up by Masterson off the rim. And down with it comes Edison. Good defense by the Bears. And they slow it up. 30 seconds. Masterson to Genovese. She traveled with it.
Traveling. Kayla Ricks. Robert Makita.
And McElrath gets a brief rest.
Edison.
.20 seconds, East Brunswick with pressure. Really having trouble with it, is Edison, and it's stolen by Genovese. Clear place to the basket.
I'll tell you, Lauren Genovese.
Her first 2 points, and boy, that's a real clincher right there. 55-27 now, East Brunswick. Edison not even going to get a shot off here. And that is the end of the third quarter of play. East Brunswick with an even more dominant quarter, Phil.
And Reggie Carney very pleased if you take a look at him, slapping high five to his players as they come off the floor there. And as you look at Reggie Carney's team here, you got to believe, Jim, that I'm used to seeing his Hoffman teams when they got to the county finals, how they would manhandle teams here, and that's what the Bears are doing right now. In this third quarter, Jim, they have outscored the Eagles 20 points to 4 points.
Yeah.
So they just have turned it on. And Reggie, when I spoke to him yesterday, was as confident as any time I saw him going into a county final. As I mentioned, he said we could win by 30 points. He says, if we're playing our game here. So they're playing their game here and certainly approaching that 30 points.
Phil, I go back to what I said before about the previous years that East Brunswick has been at this Lewis Brown Athletic Center. Has been a curse for them. They have lost games where they were in similar positions, where they have been favorites, and things just didn't seem to go right, and they thought they would never win a championship. And again, a lot of it had to do with competition. Piscataway, with those teams they had with Asia Jones leading the way,
That's right.
really was a tough situation. But they have really arrived here and are in the position where Piscataway used to be.
The truth is, a lot of it had to do with competition, but a lot of it had to do with what they did once they got here.
Pass goes a little too far. As we begin the fourth quarter of play, East Brunswick holding on to a 28-point lead. And with the ball, Whalen. Olszewski still in the game. Olszewski with the leading scorer with 21 points. Shot goes off the rim. Kenny with the follow, however, and she's fouled. Erin Kenny going to be an important player for East Brunswick.
That's for sure, Jim. We mentioned before just the 5'11" sophomore, and she's done a good job this year off the boards, her and Maura Kirby, and they're only getting better.
Get that man a drink of water. Shot by Kenny goes in. 5 for 5 from the lead, from the line, excuse me. That's her 7th point. And that rolls around and falls out. So Kenny 1 for 2, making it 56-27. They have yet to post that point. And ball goes out. Scoreboard shows 55-27, Phil. Not sure why. Kenny was 1 for 2 from the line.
Right.
There it is. Ball off of O'Reilly. Might have hurt her finger on that one.
You want to take a
She's
look
holding
at
it. She's holding her fingers. Still wants the ball, however. Oshesky, nice inside move.
I'll tell you, just a smooth crossover dribble. The veteran.
58-27. That is a 31-point lead.
23 points for Jess Olszewski.
Yes. Rick stolen away. This is Whalen. They're not going to catch her. And that gives Whalen 9 points and a 60-27 lead for East Brunswick. I believe a timeout has been called here. No, just wholesale substitutions.
Wholesale substitutions all the way around.
Except for, well, okay, McElrath is back in the game. Got to believe that Kearney's going to think about emptying the bench here, Phil.
Well,
with this lead,
I'll tell
6
you,
minutes left to go.
I'll tell you something. He can't empty the bench, but so much, Jim. The
rebound. They say off East Brunswick. Go ahead.
The JVs had a tournament yesterday. They came in an overtime game. They came in second place, so they used a lot of the younger players in that tournament there, so they really can't play here. So
they're not allowed to play.
They're not allowed to play.
Gotcha.
So people watching the game may wonder why Reggie doesn't put some of the younger players in. He can't.
Okay. That's good to know, because you don't want to accuse the coach for running it up. Kunz, I think they're going to call her for, no, they say foul. Excuse me, that's Toft.
And I'll tell you, Paul has certainly come over this crowd here. If you're the Edison Eagle fans, just a little disheartened here. And if you're the Bear fans, you've seen this all before.
And quite honestly, probably the anticipation is now shifting over to the second game of this doubleheader this afternoon. We only have the first. We would like to have televised the second, but unfortunately the East Brunswick boys were upset. I don't want to call it an upset because Saraville has played East Brunswick tough both times.
They were upset, but so was Colonia, Jim. So we got two surprise teams. We got Carteret and Saraville here for the boys finals.
Whalen, Olszewski. Oh, open is Kenny, and she puts it home. Great pass by Olszewski. 62-27.
Okay, Aaron with 9 points.
And now you see substitutions. Kenny with a steal. Whalen, she got whacked a little bit.
Her wrist as well, I tell you. That's the only thing in a game like this here, Jim. They have the states coming up on Wednesday, and you don't want to lose any of your valuable players.
Phil, do we have a first-round opponent for East Brunswick on that one?
I
know we had some brackets here, but we're in a sea of paper.
I think they got a bye, believe it or not.
Okay, so nonetheless, we do have plans to telecast the doubleheader. Girls will play the first game, I believe, boys second, and that will be their first action in the Central Jersey Group 4 tournament. Shot will not go. Genovese down with it.
And they call Dudra on the travel.
And 5 minutes exactly left to go in this game. This conclusion is long foregone.
I can tell you, I think the Bears are the number 3 seed, Jim.
Yes, they
And
are.
I think Trenton may be the
two.
number 2 seed.
Bridgewater, Raritan, number 1.
Okay.
And I think Middletown North is in the mix there somewhere. Maybe they're the number 1 seed. Nonetheless, the girls have to be considered among the favorites to advance to the finals. Central Jersey Group 4.
Well, I don't know, Jim. Again, you talked about that low post play and whatnot. When they had to play teams with the bigger low post players and whatnot, those are the teams that have given them trouble. Reggie Carney said yesterday that for the big losses that we've had against Petty, Columbia, and I think the Immaculata they lost, that and Archbishop Carroll, somebody's going to has to pay. And unfortunately here, the Eagles are paying today, and they hope to make some other people pay as they move further into the state tournament.
Well, another thing I know about East Brunswick, especially Reggie Carney, the coach, is that he is wonderful at adapting to the changes that occur as the season moves along. And certainly, I think he knows exactly what his team has, and he will try to utilize that team as best as possible. Ball stolen away here and back. He will try to utilize that team as best as possible to get the maximum effect of that team.
Right.
Shot knocked away by Oshesky. All right. I think it's accurate to call this garbage time. 4:38 left to go in the game. East Brunswick 62-27. Boy, Edison can't buy a bucket. They have 4 points this entire half. You talk about going cold. Really would like to ask Carney, and we're hoping to have him for a post-game interview. What did he exactly do to begin the second half to force Edison? There's a shot that finally goes in. That's by Eskin, making it 62-29. Another steal. And Shutt puts it in.
Just that quick.
I'll tell you what, they duplicated their entire second half effort in 5 seconds. Genovese with a shot makes it 64-31.
Well, Lauren's 4th point of the game.
And that might have been off Edison. Let's see. Official says no. And Oshesky
Comes
will
out.
finally leave the game.
I'll tell you, well-deserved applause here. The captain, the leader.
And Phil, if you have a chance to get the point total.
Jess Oshesky has 23 points on the night.
All right.
And unless something goes terribly wrong on Wednesday, Jim, she should be prepared to set the all-time scoring record for an East Brunswick Bear.
Well, how many points did she need coming into this game?
She needed 35.
35, so she has 12.
I want to say something about McElrath.
Yeah.
That's her 17th point right there. She's played a whale of a game.
Sophomore,
Jim.
is she?
She's a junior.
Junior, okay.
A junior, but she has a ton of rebounds and 18 points.
Steal, 64-33. Edison trying to creep back. They're just throwing it up. Rebound, nice one. It's a good follow-up there by, I believe that was Kuntz. And a timeout called by Edison. I guess they really think that they have a shot here with a 29-point deficit.
Okay, maybe we can get a shot of the East Brunswick cheerleaders as they come out here, Jim.
Right. Well, when they throw these jumps, I think they're going to have a lot more room than they do in East Brunswick. That's for sure. Don't have to worry about hitting the stanchions. Let's take a look at them. All right, not as much of the high wire act as we're accustomed to.
They did a good job, though.
One time, one almost fell on my lap.
And it's worth repeating for the fans out there that may be watching this game and wondering why Reggie doesn't substitute with the lot younger players. They cannot play. They had a tournament yesterday, and they went into overtime, and by state rule, they can only play so many quarters. They cannot play in this game today. So he's got to go with some of the people you have out there on the floor.
All right, East Brunswick with it. A lot of movement. And off Genovese, and they say Edison ball. So the Eagles once more with an opportunity. Inside. Shot, nice turnaround. That was Eskin, who's played a decent game tonight. 64-37.
8 points for Eskin.
Genovese inside to Kirby, bounce pass inside to Mariski, rolls around. However, Kirby with a nice rebound. Maura Kirby, who's one of the few East Brunswick players to not be in the scoring column, will have an opportunity to shoot two.
Well, Maura does her job basically off the boards there, but as they move on into the States, Jim, they're really going to have to rely on Maura Kirby and
absolutely
her rebounding.
And I do think that Erin Kenny's going to have a little bit of a say also.
Exactly. Both of those players are going to be key.
Kirby misses the first, makes the second, so she has a single point to make it 65-37. Stolen away by Dudra. She's done that before this afternoon. Double dribble, I think they'll call. No, they say foul. Phil, did they not put that point on the board? I thought it was 65-37. I might be wrong.
Her first, the fifth Eagle team foul.
All right, down to 2:45. Again, East Brunswick 65-37. They call a foul.
I'll tell you, looked like a good block by McElrath.
That is Jill Masterson.
That's
Alyssa Mariski, I'm sorry. I've been mixing up 15 and 12 all afternoon, so pay no attention to me.
You're a little dyslexic, but we'll let it slide.
I've learned that a long time ago. And that one rolls in and out. Mariski, the only other player to not be in the scoring column, so she gets her opportunity here and doesn't make it. 0 for 2. Sure, Carney'd like to see every one of these players get at least a point off the board. Here comes Mariski with it. Masterson. Kirby lofts one up a little high off the board. Dudra with the follow-up, and it falls. She has 5 points, and East Brunswick back to a 30-point margin, 67-37. 2 minutes to go in this game. East Brunswick's going to successfully defend its championship. McElrath. Nice shot goes in by Putz. She has 8 points, making it 67-39. Somewhat pressure by Edison, broken up. Kirby again. No, will not go. McElrath comes down with it. Here comes Edison. Whoops, they're going to call steps. Credit that one to the East Brunswick defense. And a press by the Eagles. Whoops, that was an errant pass. Shot in and out, won't go. Masterson goes strong to the hoop, and she's fouled by McElrath. That's her fourth now.
Edison foul on number
And Masterson will go to the line shooting 2.
Robin Nikita returns for the Eagles.
And there goes McElrath, who deserves a good hand for a real solid game.
She's played a super game, Jim.
Really.
Just a super game, and she'll be back.
Shot in. 1 for 2 is Masterson. Makes it 68-39. Won't go, but a foul. 1 minute and 6 seconds remaining in this contest. It's been, except for the early going, all East Brunswick as they moved out to a comfortable lead of 35-23 at halftime, extended that to, by outscoring Edison 20-4 in a pivotal third quarter. And they really haven't looked back.
Quint's just a sophomore herself. Came into this game averaging 11 points a game, has stuck on 8.
Ball goes out of bounds, and the Eagles will regain possession. One minute to play. That shot put up by Kutz, who has 10 points, double figures. That pass almost goes awry. 68-41. Kirby, who's thought she was fouled, but they let it go. Good shot off the boards, falls in. They say that was Schutz. Okay. 68-43. Genovese with an open look. Will not go. Tapped away. There come the Eagles. Whoa. 3-point try. And that is it. The final score. East Brunswick successfully defending its GMC championship, tournament championship, winning 68-43, and feel quite a different look down there on that East Brunswick bench. More of a just another good win.
Just another good win. Of course, it's the county final here, and East Brunswick. This is their 3rd championship in the last 4 years, Jim. So. You know, they got to be pretty happy about that. Of course, Reggie Carney has been here more than anyone. I think his 14th appearance, his 6th county championship overall, and he's just done a super job with this Bear team.
And that he has, and it just continues to grow and grow and grow. Just to give you the point totals for East Brunswick, Jess Oshesky, by far, actually she was the only player in double figures for East Brunswick with 23. Erin Kenny and Liz Whalen both with 9 points. Heather O'Reilly played an outstanding floor game as well with 8 points. Melissa Dudra with 5. Lauren Genovese with 4. And Jill Masterson with 3. And Maura Kirby with 1 point. So that's the scoring for East Brunswick. And then Connie McElrath was the dominant scorer. I don't have her. I think you have her with 17, Phil?
18 points for
18 points for
McElrath, who had a ton of rebounds as well. And I just want to say a thing about Patty Jaworski and these Edison Eagles. Don't cry for them, because they are a very young team, Jim, and we could very well see them back here again in this county finals.
Well, as you see the camera pan the rack, there's a table in the middle with T-shirts and plaques and various awards, and we're going to stay by here to first see the East Brunswick players get their individual awards, take a break, and then hopefully we'll be back with the coach of East Brunswick, Reggie Carney, for a post-game interview. And we'll see how long this takes. Down at the desk is East Brunswick Director of Athletics in his green blazer, Frank Knoppenberger. Along with him is the president of the Greater Middlesex Conference. I believe he's retiring, Jack Heffelfinger. And listen to the Edison crowd.
And why not
give
Jim?
a nice hand to the team implored by Coach Patty Jaworski.
And why not? They should be proud, Jim. 11 consecutive wins coming into here. Patty Jaworski knew she was somewhat overmatched, hoped to play a respectable game, but there were only 2 teams here, and her team is one of them.
Second place finishers.
All right.
Eagles, Edison Township.
We're going to award the Eagles their second place.
Okay, the runner-ups.
Awards.
For the Eagles.
That is Heffelfinger with the shirt and Knoppenberger on the right.
Number 14, Kelly Todd. Number 21, Harriet Schutz. Number 23, Shannon Todd.
And again, all these players are, with the exception of one, are underclassmen.
Number 32, Nicole Brownlee. Number 33, Jackie Kuntz.
Matter of fact, they're all.
Number 40,
Everybody coming back?
Yeah.
Well, that says a couple of things. The future of this team and a great hand. I think a lot of accolades should go to Jaworski for the job that she has done, because this is a team that really
came out of nowhere.
they really have. They've really just been in the middle of the pack, if not the bottom of the GMC. And the team collectively goes out to get its second place trophy.
Jaworski sends the team out rather than pick it up herself, giving all due credit to her team. And she's saying, show it to your fans. And she has to know, this is a big moment for Edison fans. This is their first time ever at the rack.
And now introducing the champions of the
Now East Brunswick.
GMC tournament. Number 5, Jess Olszewski.
There's Olszewski. Did they pick an MVP of the tournament, Phil?
They normally do, I believe. And if so,
got to figure Jess is going to be getting it.
It would have to be.
This is Liz Whalen, Maura Kirby,
Number 34,
Erin Kenny,
Number 15, Lisa Marisky.
Lisa Marisky.
Number 20, Melissa Dudra.
This is Melissa Dudra.
Number 3, Lauren Genevieve.
Lauren Genevieve goes up to get hers. Senior.
Number 12, Jill Masterton.
Jill Masterson.
Number 23, Ashley Stapleton.
And 23, Stapleton.
Number 42, Heather O'Reilly.
Dudra, Genevieve, and Olszewski, the only seniors on this team, Phil.
They're going to be strong for a long time to come.
And here comes the sub-varsity contingent.
Number 41, Teresa Alexander.
That was
Katie
Sylvia
Costa.
Majeska, Katie Coster. You're going to have Justine Barbado and Teresa Alexander. All right, we have extra T-shirts out there.
I'll take one.
This time the championship plaques will be presented to East Brunswick seniors Melissa Dudra, Lauren Genevieve.
And here comes the senior
I'll
contingent.
tell you, that's a nice touch there.
Yes.
A talented trio right there.
The champions of the 2000 GMC.
That's right, of the 2000.
First of the millennium.
That's right.
Well, technically not. The millennium doesn't start until next year,
we
but
won't get into it.
first ones to put the 2000 on their moniker. And a couple of more, I believe, some more awards. Not quite sure whether these are going to be the all-conference team awards.
At this time, the GMC would like to begin the awards presentation and honor division.
I think at this point what we are going to do is just take a break. We'll be back. If any East Brunswick players were named to the conference teams, we'll make a mention of it. But we'll take a short break here, and then we'll be back, hopefully, with Reggie Carney after this. All right, we're back here at the Rutgers Athletic Center, Lewis Brown Athletic Center, actually, better known as the RAC. East Brunswick's girls team has just defeated Edison 68-43. With us is the winning coach of East Brunswick, Reggie Carney. Congratulations, Reggie. It was a great win. This has been a site where you've had some good moments and bad moments, haven't you?
Without a doubt, yep. Now, this was a very special win. Great day for Lady Bears over here today.
Okay, let's talk about the second half, because you had a 12-point lead at halftime, and then, you came out and outscored Edison 20-4 in that decisive third quarter. Did you make any adjustments?
No, all we really needed to do was we had one adjustment, if you want to call it that Jess was rotating up to the ball, so we needed her to stay back. But basically what we said to the kids, which has been our creed all year, that they now have to come out of the locker room and get their legs going again, because I thought we had the tempo at a blistering pace. So I thought, we weren't getting the total results offensively that we wanted up on the scoreboard, but I really believe at that stage that when we went into the locker room, I know we're going to come out and we're going to have that third and fourth gear, and we're going to keep running and running. And I honestly felt, that the tempo was so blistering that they're going to have a hard time getting their legs going again. And, the obvious, what a run we went on.
And, of course, Oshesky with her 23 points this afternoon.
Yes.
Has been a factor in this game, her experience. Talk a little bit about her contributions.
Well, I think, she's our marquee player. And I think where you have so many inexperienced kids to begin with, now throw all this inexperience, even though it's a season later, on this parquet floor. And all of a sudden, I start looking around and everybody gets a little big-eyed. So I just think the fact that she's been here before, and when she missed her first couple shots, she kept shooting. She's yelling directions out there defensively for everybody. So, this is what your marquee player has to do to relax the younger players around her. And, she was a force. She was an absolute force.
It was a terrific job, and what an impact she has been for East Brunswick. Phil, do you have any questions for?
First of all, congratulations, Reg.
Thanks,
by my count, your 14th appearance here at the final.
Yes.
9 consecutive years here for East Brunswick, and you won 3 consecutive titles while at Hoffman. Can we expect 3 consecutive titles?
Well, yeah, I hope so. The tough thing is, everybody hears about the losses, and the unfortunate is sometimes you have to own up to the fact we were the second best team. So I realize it adds to a so-called streak, but there were times when you're playing Age and some of the kids we played against, you weren't going to win. So maybe the same sentiments Edison had today, that getting here, learning the experience. So I hope, I think a lot of things come full circle. And our first or early years at South End, but we never won anything in tournaments. Then you grow up. I think the same thing now that this team has learned how to earn postseason wins. And, last year's team pretty much turned the tide, and then this year's team has carried it through. But I think with the talent we have coming back, if they're going to work like all the other kids in the past have, this is what we shoot for, getting back here every year.
As satisfying.
Win or lose.
Win or lose.
Winning's better, but, that's the whole goal, is to get here.
As satisfying as this victory is right now for the team, I know they're all smiles going on the bus home. You're going to have to shift gears a little bit, a couple of days, and we're going to move into the state tournament, Central Jersey Group 4. Yeah. You got a high seed, but talk about, you're the defending Group 4 champion. Does that have anything in a way of a benefit, and what can you look forward to in the States?
Well, that does. I think if everybody returned their players, then it would have a big benefit. But I think what you're going to find is that everybody got hit in Group 4 Central real hard for graduation. So Trenton is certainly going to resemble Trenton, but our situation is we have basically 2 days to enjoy this. On Monday, we've got to get back at it and really get after it, because West Windsor, who is our first round opponent, pretty much I would think they're going to be, knocked off Trenton 2 weeks ago. So where we've had other years with you guys where we get stuck with a great Bridgewater Raritan in the first round, a Steinert, we've got to have our A game, or again, we're going to be in for a real fight, kind of like the Bishop R games against this West Windsor team. They're very talented. They play in your face just like we do. So the similarities, are a little bit scary.
Okay. Well, congratulations on a great win this afternoon.
Thanks.
68-43 is our final score. That's going to do it here from the Lewis Brown Athletic Center. For Reggie Carney, Phil Hill, this is Jimmy Allinder saying thanks for being with us.